Days for Girls was founded to provide menstrual supplies to girls around the world who don't have access to them. So many girls around the world are forced to use just anything around them to manage their menstruation, or in many cases, they just remain in isolation for that week every month. The Days for Girls kits help to give the girls those days back. People volunteer with Days for Girls in so many different ways. People donate fabric, they donate money, they donate their time sewing or assembling kits, and people volunteer in many other different capacities.
The Deakin University Community Service Girls, they're off to Malawi in Africa in about 3 weeks, and today's their second sewing lesson.
After all that struggle to start, you've done a magnificent job, haven't you? First rate.
When it's that time of month for the young girls in Singa Bay, Malawi, they simply go to their homes and wait for it to go away.
Because they can't go to school when they have their periods. This, the Days for Girls gives them the chance to go to school.
By providing them with hygiene kits that will take the stigma out of something so natural as having your period and give them their days back.
Because we've learned how to make them ourselves, then we'll be able to teach the women there how to make them themselves. One of the great things that Margaret did for this was to organise us to use 5 hand-operated sewing machines, because that's what we're buying over there, and so the girls have learned how those machines operate in order to be able to teach on those machines.
Melbourne, Australia.
Ashworth, New Hampshire.
Germany. O'Fallon, Missouri.
Vince, Washington.
San Diego.
Newcastle.
San Antonio.
New Zealand.
Sweden.
Accra, Ghana.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Edmonton, Canada.
Petersburg, Florida.
Kampala, Uganda.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Calgary, Canada.
Lacos, Nova Scotia.
Especially the rural villages, women are isolated to huts until her menstruation is done. The consequence was no school, no access to hygiene. That is happening today while we're talking, and this is something we can change.
As a medical professional, I think the Days for Girls kits provides a much needed resource for the women in the Makamai communities. One of the women said to us that everybody in the village knew when she was on her cycle because the blood would run down her legs.
In these villages, I think it's very challenging for them to kind of even go outside the house sometimes because they feel like they're not sanitized, they feel like there'll be a stigma.
I think the Days for Girls kits really just provide freedom for women. They're a way to kind of take charge of their situation in a place where they don't have a lot of power.
After we showed the women in the villages how to use the kits, they were so excited. They were holding up the kits, they were cheering, they were showing their friends within the villages.
Imagine this. She can stay in school, become educated, and gain employment. The gross product of her nation goes up, her family will be lifted, because women who prosper help their whole community prosper. Giving days back to every girl, everywhere, period.